So, a few days ago, I did a tier list regarding future albums. But you know what's even better than future albums, in my opinion? Lil Wayne's albums, because Lil Wayne is one of the most inspirational artists to have ever lived, right? And I personally think artists such as Lil Wayne have influenced rappers who are good, such as Future, with the use of autotune, metaphoric lines, so on and so forth. So I'm going to go over briefly Lil Wayne's albums and put them into a tier list. And we're starting off with kind of a mid album, which is the Free Weezy album. I honestly just don't remember too much from this album when it came out. None of the songs really stuck with me other than that White Girl song. That was pretty good. It was alright. Definitely not the best work of Lil Wayne, but it's not bad. There wasn't any songs on the album that made me like pull my headphones off and throw them across the fucking room for crying out loud. Nonetheless, there are much better options here to go over, and I think it's important to establish that this is mid work in my opinion for someone as versatile as Lil Wayne. Now we got the Carter 3, and the Carter 3 is a fucking classic. And I think we can all universally agree on this. I personally have a couple of albums that are over the Carter 3, and I'm probably going to get some heat for it, but it is what it is. The Carter 3 changed the culture of hip hop music because prior to the Carter 3, most hip hop music, most rap music had this notion of gangster that was within the music. And while Lil Wayne stays true to that theme throughout the Carter 3, he gave hip hop a style, like a revolution in style when the Carter 3 was made. Because, like, let's take Eminem, 50 Cent, for example. Like, they were, like, really hard, like, really in depth lyricists. Well, I don't know about 50 like that, but Eminem, very good lyricist. 50 Cent was pretty good lyricist, but he was more hard, he was more gangster. That's what everybody was really bumping back in the early 2000s. But the Carter 3, we had a good usage of autotune. We had very catchy songs that were masterpieces. Lollipop. Honestly, this is a pretty hot take, but I thought the song Phone Home was pretty good. Honestly, like I really liked that song at the time and I still like it now. Don't Get It was really good. Mr. Carter, excellent. Three-Peat, excellent. All these songs are masterpieces. They were beautifully written and they were mm, 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 fucking amazing. 500 Degrees. I like 500 Degrees. I know it's not the best work of Lil Wayne, but I thought it was pretty good. I like the song Fuck You. Fuck you, nigga. Fuck you. Fuck you. Like that shit was just hard. I remember listening to that when I was a jit, and it was fucking amazing. I love that shit. The rest of the songs I don't really remember though, but I remember playing this album a lot whenever I was a child, and I really enjoyed it. Next we got Funeral, and whew, I think it's pretty good too. I mean, multiple flows, I Do It, Harden, all these songs were really good in my opinion, and I thought it was done masterfully well. I think it took a step down because this is Lil Wayne whenever he was getting out of his prime after the Carter 3, I believe, or not the Carter 3, the Carter 5, I mean. So, after the Carter 5, Lil Wayne just kind of took a step down. Not saying he's bad, but Lil Wayne's prime was probably the Carter 3 all the way through the Carter 5. That was Lil Wayne at his best, at his peak. And you could even make the argument, like, if you're a diehard Lil Wayne fan who's, like, seriously into Lil Wayne like that, because I'm not as big into Lil Wayne as I used to be, but he is my all-time definitive favorite rapper. I will say that. But for the diehard Lil Wayne fans that listen to him on a regular basis every single day, because, honestly, I don't listen to Lil Wayne every day like I used to. Lil Wayne in the early 2000s probably resonates very well with people. I'm not as big of a fan of his old work as some of his middle-aged work to his newest works. I think they're a lot better, in my opinion. But Funeral, good nonetheless, just not as high up as something like the Carter 3. And I think we can all agree on that. Oh, The Block is Hot. I did not like this album, if I'm being honest. It just wasn't for me. I'm not into that style of rap. Oh my goodness, this one is a fucking masterpiece. Put it at A though. I know a lot of people didn't really like this I Am Not a Human Being one, but I thought it was done pretty well. The song he had with Gutta Gutta, I can't remember the name of the song, but he said he got a silence on the chopper and he gonna mute him. I thought Lil Wayne was a masterful lyricist in this album. Just with the metaphors and punchlines, right above it was good. Gonorrhea was good. Just very small and compact album that just caught my attention and grabbed my attention and just played with my emotions. Goodness gracious. Carter 5, fucking masterpiece. Loved it. Great. I remember I was just Googling every single day when I was about 15 or 16 years old. When is the Carter 5 dropping? When is the Carter 5 dropping? When is the Carter 5 dropping? And then it finally dropped, and I was not disappointed. I like Dedication, Uproar, Mona Lisa, Mess. There's plenty of songs on this album that just sit well with me, and I loved it. And it was some of Lil Wayne's finest lyricism. Like, he went from the catchy, talking about drugs and sex and money and cars. While he talks about that stuff, he gets a little bit deeper with songs like Open Letter, Mess, and I really enjoyed it. I love this. I love the shift in attitude that Lil Wayne displayed in this album, and I thought it was done very well. So this is a very good album. I will put the Carter 3 above the Carter 5 simply for nostalgia, and I enjoyed the songs on it better. But nonetheless, this is a very close second. This is a very close second. Or, fuck, I didn't mean to do that. I Am Not a Human Being 2 is probably the most publicly disliked album, and I don't understand why. It is an S tier. You got songs like Gun Walk, Trigger Finger, Rich as Fuck, Trippy. Like, those songs were amazing. Amazing. I remember, I shouldn't even be sharing this online, but I'm going to share it anyways. I was really drunk one day when I was in high school, and I couldn't really have any spatial awareness of my surroundings and my environment. Probably not a good thing to do at such a young age, being, I think I was 16 or 17. But nonetheless, the song Trippy came on, and he started saying that the pictures in the room were looking at me. Looking at him, I mean. And that just resonated with me. I don't know what it was. Like, I have a picture of Spider-Man in here, Tifa, Cloud, Captain Price, Kratos, and I could drink right now, probably, if I wanted to, and these motherfuckers would just be staring at me, and it's just a trip. And he's talking about other substances that you should not use, and I do not recommend you use. But nonetheless, it's just a very catchy song, and that's honestly probably my favorite song on the album. So Trippy, Gun Walk, the very intro track, I'm Not a Human Being. Just some of the best bars. Like, they're just funny as fuck and just cool. Like, he just has so much style in this shit. No Worries was good. Oh my goodness. Loved that album. Loved it. I don't get why everybody hates it. The Carter One, the only song I liked off of it was it was called Earthquake whenever I was young. I remember that's what people called it. I don't remember the name of the song, but he's like, I'll take your dime from you. Go DJ was alright, but honestly, see. I just didn't really like it as much as other albums when Lil Wayne got a little bit older and better and became more catchier. His songs from this and prior to that just aren't very catchy in my opinion, but 500 Degrees is an exception for some reason just because of that one song. To be honest, like, I could still play that on repeat to this day. The Carter 4, I know I said that the Carter 5 was a close second to the Carter 3, but honestly, I think I gotta put the Carter 4 over the Carter 3. Because I remember songs like 6 Foot, 7 Foot, How to Love, She Will, It's Good. All those songs I had on repeat for the longest time whenever I was a child hearing this masterpiece of an album. And I loved it. And I could still go through the Carter 4 and recite every single bar from every single song, start to finish, like a fucking G. because that's how well this album was. So this is probably my favorite album now that I'm like really thinking about it, because I've spent so much time listening to these songs and I could just never get tired of them. Like I could listen to 6 foot, 7 foot, for instance, for days on end and not get very tired of it, to be honest, to be quite honest. Mm, not a fan. More or less the same thing as The Block is Hot. This was fucking dog water. I hate to say it because I really like Lil Wayne, but he should have. It's nice to see him experimenting. Like, it was nice. Drop the World was a mid ass song, in my opinion. I just did not really like it. I liked. Honestly, it's going to be bad to say, but I liked Eminem's verse. I thought that was done very well, but Lil Wayne's bars in the song were pretty good, but like it's just not as good as other songs that Lil Wayne has or even Eminem has, because I mean let's just face it, a lot of people only really like that song just because it had Eminem, and it just didn't really make sense to me because this was at a point where Lil Wayne was probably the most hated rapper in the world, and it just didn't make any sense to me. But nonetheless, I think it's a really bad album. I don't really have much to that's positive to say about it other than the fact that Drop the World is an okay mid song. It's not great, in my opinion, but I mean, feel free to disagree. A lot of people will disagree with that, but who the fuck cares? Not me, I can tell you that much. Stuntin' Like My Daddy is the funniest fucking song ever, so this has got to go at A. Over Here Hustlin' was pretty good. Leather So Soft was pretty good. Oh my goodness. Birdman and Lil Wayne, they're just funny when they're together, and I think we all know why. But nonetheless, Stunt Like My Daddy is fucking hilarious. Oh my goodness. Just brings up so many nostalgic memories. And last we have the Carter 2. There's a song on it called Oh No, Lock and Load, Shooter. I love those songs, but I wouldn't repeat this album as frequent as I would these four. These four are some of the best albums I've ever heard in my life. And without a doubt, I genuinely appreciate Lil Wayne as an artist. Most of his really, really good songs are from the Carter series and from his mixtapes. I think we can all agree on that, correct? Like his later Carter albums after the Carter 3 and up. So that's where Lil Wayne started to hit his prime. And then we had stuff like No Ceilings. No Ceilings was absolutely flames, absolute fire, absolutely perfect in every way, shape and form. I mean, sorry. But nonetheless, I enjoy Lil Wayne as an artist, and I think it was just really important to talk about these albums because without these albums, we wouldn't have most of the music that we have today that we would consider good. So, yeah, that's my tier list. Feel free to subscribe and like if you wish, and I'll see y'all again.